We know how much you guys love listening to our stories, but did you know you can also listen to more stories, books, and podcasts on audible.com?
Say what?
Listeners of Storylords might enjoy the comedy sci-fi series Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's about a regular guy named Carl who's thrown into a big old dungeon crawl to save humanity from aliens, which are real. Do your own research.
And I've been listening to the High Republic Star Wars series for months now. And I've been listening to...
I am partial to iRobot
Okay, go, your turn.
because it helps me set my boundaries with organic beings.
I like to read magazines that judge people's decorating tastes. Oh yes, okay, you go. Do they do those?
Audible lets you listen to your favorite series while you're driving or just chilling at home at any speed you want. And there's tons of books and types of literature to choose from. I like the book. That's audibletrial.com/storylords. Sign up for a trial today and help support your boys, the Storylords. Aww.
Storylords to episode 63. Yeah?
4.
Did you just say? You just said that, but my headphones were up against the microphone.
Nintendo 64 episode, boys.
Of Storylords.
Wave race.
Storylords 64, the prompt-based fiction podcast and N64 game with 2 prompts, 3 stories, and infinite laughter. I'm Rich Masters, and with me, as always, is Josh Henderson.
If this was an N64 game, I'm sorry that your mom bought this for you for your birthday.
True.
And Jeff Pennington.
Blast Core.
He's just he's stuck in this loop again.
Chameleon Twist.
Wow.
I'm just naming the bargain basement game.
Some fucking bangers, dude.
Wave race did rule.
I can't think of any shit N64 games that we owned, because I controlled the N64 purchases, even though it's my brother's computer.
Castlevania 64.
That was shit, and I didn't get it.
I obtained that somehow. I never bought it, but I have it. I don't know who left it here or what.
Game. I like saved up money for it, and like I did that thing where you just sort of like fake loving it because you spent real money on it.
Well, dude, kids today don't know the acting skills we all learned from fake loving shitty video games.
Acted for an audience of one ourselves.
Yeah, ourselves. We didn't want to disappoint our own disappointment.
It really did enable us to fake love things in our life as adults.
Yeah, very good skill.
So.
Speaking of which, I love you guys.
I love you too.
I'm gonna pretend that was real.
I love you too.
This week, our prompts were Delusions, ironically, and Deities. Yeah. And this week, Josh is first, so we're gonna take a little No, he's not. We did this already. Jeff is first. I read the wrong thing.
Out. Wink.
No, we're not winking it. We're not winking anything out. We're not editing anything out. Look, I'm tired. I just don't care. I want to get through this episode, get to the mid-season break. I'm leveling with you as well as the fans.
Jesus.
I'm tired.
Well, fans, I actually get to go first, and I love you guys, and I'm happy to do this show for you, so...
I believe half of that.
We're going in order of enthusiasm.
Am I using my Castlevania 64 skills here? Who knows?
You are holding an N64 controller for some weird reason. I don't know why.
He's always got a whip, but that's for other reasons.
Yeah, that's for Afterlord.
The title of my story is The God That Slithers Below.
Oh, my penis.
That's a great name. Whoa!
Wow. There had been a gunshot. He could almost hold on to that thought. Even with the ever-encroaching darkness weighing down on him like a heavy blanket, he could still form that into a wobbly, weak thought. The empty feeling suffocated him with no edge to be found, no matter how hard he felt and reached and groped for an escape. But even then, there was a deeper, darker place to fall for Johnny Long. He was standing in a dismally lit living room with wood paneling along every wall and a brown shag rug beneath his bare feet.
He should get himself a fireplace.
Of course you would say that.
How many fireplaces are there?
Yeah.
This is very unrealistic. He's not even mentioning the fireplace.
I bet he's
How
only
many butter knives have you got?
The familiar sting of tobacco smoke hung in the air around him like a personal miasma, having filtered through his lungs for so long that it had become a part of him by now.
Oh, yeah.
He felt younger, less burdened by experience, and with loss. Those things will kill you, you know. A sing-song voice cut through the gray haze as easily as a breeze, a voice that had never really left him, as beautiful as the last time he had heard it. He felt soft hands through a shirt he didn't know he was wearing a moment ago, long arms folding around his waist, as welcome as if they'd been crafted just for that purpose. Katie. His voice was swallowed up before he could even leave his lips. It wasn't his turn to speak. He hadn't said that back then. Instead, a more obstinate, hard-edged version of his voice blared from inside of his head as if he had said it, repeating the exact phrases he had uttered on that day. "You're wasting your breath, Katie. My dad smoked these his entire life, and he lived to be 80. Like sucking Satan's dirty red cock without even kissing first," Katie whispered with a light chuckle behind her lilting voice.
Pretty Woman style.
Katie.
Johnny felt a laugh come out of him that he hadn't created, just like that day. He couldn't feel anything except a painful hole that was being gouged out further at its edges with each passing second. He couldn't decide if that was metaphorical or just plain reality at this point. There was a loud, electronic buzzing, like an old TV that had been left on for too long, ringing in his ears suddenly. A digitized voice of a strong, accentless American announcer speaking rapidly into a tinny microphone. "Serious health risk of cancer, emphysema, and more, with over 19,000 deaths reported annually with only exposure to cigarettes on a regular basis. Doctors agree that the most real risk of smoking isn't..." The voice he couldn't control chimed back in. "You love me even with the cigarettes, right?" Katie's smile shone through the billowing dark gray smoke which had eaten his entire sight by now. The familiar feeling of falling in a dream overwhelming him as that beautiful smile faded back into the darkness. "Forever and ever, Ashmouth." "Mr. Long?" A deep, hollow voice rang out at once, splitting the darkness and flooding his vision with red. "I have a few questions." Static overcame him at once, just as invasive as all the other feelings and experiences he was forced to feel, like someone was changing the channel inside of his head. "Crumbly crunchies are the best, look delicious on your vest, serve them to unwanted guests, stuff the mattress with the rest."
What?
The tinny music subsided as the commercial break ended and the main presentation began. Old-timey swing music began to play as the black and white title card appeared, displaying a stylized logo that read, "The Three Little Lords in," with 3 dots following it. Big swirly letters appeared afterwards stating, "Workin' Stiffs," with an exclamation point at the end.
Dancing
Iris in on a
like.
gigantic old busted-up dresser, half dilapidated and falling apart, slowly swaying with the intensely loud snoring of 2 grown men who happened to be sleeping in the pulled-out drawers that remained inside of it. The rest of the room completely bare besides a single dangling light bulb. In the bottom drawer, a tall bald man with a pair of glasses precariously dangled off of his face by one ear, snored like a buzzsaw, his arms and legs dangling out of the dresser drawers at the knee and elbow respectively. A soft dripping of water from above ominously taps him in the forehead as he snores, until finally he could take it no longer, springing up and bashing his head against the bottom of the drawer above. "God damn it!" he yelled out in a voice with a tinge of a southern drawl. "Are you pissing out of your dick hole up there on me, Henderson?" This camera slowly pans up to a bald ginger of average height, curled up into a tight ball in a bed of empty beer bottles, each one of them draining straight downwards. He stirs only slightly, looking angelic in his sweet repose besides the stink lines wafting off of him. "Henderson!" the taller man bellowed out, bashing the back of his fist into the drawer above him. The other man was sleeping soundly in to wake him, but instead causing the entire rickety-ass piece of shit dresser to implode inwards on both of them. A moment passes as debris falls off the rubble and sputters across the old worn floorboards. Then, whoop! Henderson popped his head up out of the rubble, dazed and confused as he wobbled about, peering around at the destruction. "Pennington!" he called out, digging around violently in the destroyed pieces of the drawer.
Oh,
He began tossing objects he found in the rubble over his shoulder. A gigantic floppy-ass black dildo, a signed copy of Mein Kampf, a big old fish bone that was still in the shape of a fish. You know, the usual. "Well, this is a fine how do you do," Pennington called out as he popped up out of the rubble. "That was our last unbroken piece of junkyard bullshit to sleep in. What are we gonna do now?" "We haven't had a job in months at this point. The only reason the landlord lets us stay here is because he's got a cuckold fetish and his wife loves my dick and balls," Henderson said sadly, but still put his hand up for a high five. Pennington glared out of the corner of his eyes at him, but returned the high five nevertheless. "Look, I got the perfect plan for us, and there's no way even we can fuck this up. And we've been eating paint chips for 3 square meals since the day Truman got into office."
Truman!
Henderson spat, then growled, "Truman!" Pennington held a newspaper up, and the view zoomed in tight on the highly detailed drawing of a personal want ad on newspaper print. In black lettering, it read, "Two Stooges wanted, preferably not Larry or Moe." In tiny lettering below it, it read, "P.S. We're not going to get back to the actual story anytime soon, so strap your dumbasses in."
Oh, God, I'm ready.
I see.
A star wipe later, Pennington and Henderson stood outside of a spooky-ass-looking mortuary building with a gigantic sign on the front of it which read, "Get stiff at Morty's Mortuary and Titty Mags." Both boys
That's Truman's economy for you.
Both boys nodded at each other with huge smiles on their faces, then ran through the front door, stumbling and bumbling over each other to get in first until they rolled over one another straight into the floor on the foyer with a loud reverberating crash, both of their asses hanging out of their underwear. "What's all this then?" a British voice cried out limely.
Limely.
The camera panned up first to the first man in this farce to have any hair. A bespectacled Englishman wearing a derby hat, fine 3-piece pinstripe suit, and carrying an umbrella. Pennington and Henderson leapt to their feet, saluting the Englishman with their guts sucked in and their chests puffed out.
"I have hair, but I'm wasting it and wearing a hat."
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta wear a hat, it rains all the time.
That's
"Two
true.
new hires reporting for duty, Your Majesty!" Henderson cried out.
This is uncannily like the conversation we had when I suggested doing the podcast.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
"All right, but why aren't you two wearing anything but your skivvies then?" the British gentleman asked genuinely. It was then that both the audience and the two idiots realized that I forgot to write a scene of them getting dressed. There was an uproarious laugh from a studio audience that hadn't been there a moment ago. How could this visual gag have gotten across in this manner in a medium where the audience would have seen the two characters the entire time? They would have already seen that they weren't wearing clothing. A screen jitter occurred. Pennington and Henderson stood saluting, fully clothed, with their guts sucked in and chests poked out. "Two new hires reporting for duty, Your Highness," Pennington called out. He was wearing a vest with a high starched collar shirt, a pair of tweed slacks, saddle shoes, and a straw boater hat worn tilted. "We're here for your money," Henderson yelled in the same military voice. Pennington elbowed him hard in the ribs, causing Henderson to reflectively add, "Sir!" Henderson was dressed in a flat cap, a turtleneck sweater, slacks, and brown loafers, looking like a fucking cartoon bulldog about to bedevil Bugs Bunny and shit. The British man smirked and walked a line in front of them, as if he was inspecting them. He poked Pennington in the chest with his umbrella, causing his pecs to deflate like a beach ball and his gut to poke back out with a ka-ching register sound. "My name's Masters, and I run a tight ship around these parts, boys. I'm straight off the boat from me parents' big-ass money mansion, where we keep all our gold and jewels. Don't ask me how we got them, though," the British man snapped, pointing his umbrella at them again.
We're
Pennington
protecting
and
them.
Henderson exchanged knowing glances.
Colonialism.
I brought you in to help me load up some stiffs into a truck and take them across town to get cremated at Big Bob's Burners Barbecue and Crematorium.
This is very Australian.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard.
No, it's okay.
It makes it even better.
But we
It's
also
hard.
have ice cream because that's what the word reminds everybody of, Master said in one breath. That's the name of the business? Pennington asked, bewildered. I'll ask the questions here, boys, Master snapped, brandishing his umbrella around. Anyway, we gotta hurry because the sign out front says back in 15 minutes. All three men crisscrossed their arms to handshake one another, Pennington adding in a big cartoonish wink to go along with the deal being sealed. Suddenly more static. Maybe this time it felt a little less jarring and a little more welcome for some reason. Johnny couldn't really say. But the scene had changed. The black smoke had returned momentarily. Beep, beep, beep. The first thing that came back into focus was the heart monitor next to him, rhythmically and steadily beeping along with his struggling heart. Then, when it became obvious where he was, the room came into view as well. A dark hospital room with an empty bed on one side of him, the curtain drawn partially across it, and a slightly ajar door allowing a streak of bright light into the darkness that surrounded him. Mr. Long, are you with me? An unfamiliar voice echoed in his ears. He had the distinct feeling of knowing he was in a dream suddenly, but it was momentary and replaced with a stark, violent reality that usually accompanied waking up with a 5-alarm hangover. He turned his head as best he could in the other direction away from the door. A man was sitting there. Oddly proportioned, he could tell, even in the dark, even with him sitting down. He couldn't make out much detail about his face, and for some reason that unsettled him some. All he could tell was that the man was wearing round-lensed sunglasses in the dark with opaque red lenses. Who? Johnny managed to hiss out between lips that wouldn't part correctly, though he didn't know why. The voice that hit his ears was ragged, but he was certain he was the one making it. Have you or anyone you know made contact with an unidentified being recently, Mr. Long? Anything you could not personally explain? The man in the red sunglasses asked, completely evenly. Yeah, Johnny muttered out, barely managing to hold onto the vision of what he was seeing, and it all began to melt away into gray smoke once more. You are caught up in something far larger than you could possibly imagine, Mr. Long. A war between two sides where we are simply pawns, the man said plainly, as if he were reading off the ingredients on the back of a box of cereal. A war for a prize that has remained undisturbed within our world for a millennia. A sleeping god. If you can manage to keep yourself from being used, Mr. Long, perhaps we can speak again. Who are you? A panicked voice cut through. A woman standing near the door. The man in the chair looked up as if somewhat startled himself, but nothing about his face reacted at all, as if it were a mask glued on. Johnny could barely move his head, but he forced just enough to roll it to the other side and see the nurse standing in the doorway. 5'5", blonde hair, dark eyes. The black smoke rolled in around the periphery of his eyes once more, and he repeated those figures to himself over and over to cling to whatever consciousness this had been. 5'5", blonde hair, dark eyes. 5'5", blonde hair, dark eyes. But the smoke rolled in nonetheless, and all was still and dark again. A TV announcer in the far-flung distance slowly spoke. Second hand smoke. Words distorted almost beyond comprehension. Static. You there, you three hoodlums! What in the holy hell are you doing? An older gentleman with a handlebar mustache wearing a black suit and tall stovepipe hat befitting of an undertaker was standing at the end of an alley, holding the sign which read back in 15 minutes on it. Pennington and Henderson swiveled their heads around to look at each other with wide eyes, both of them holding onto either end of a coffin heavy enough to obviously be filled with a body. In unison, they both cried out, "Uh-oh!" Quick, throw it in the truck and let's get out of here, Masters cried out from the front seat of the moving truck that was parked in the middle of the alleyway, partially loaded with several coffins already. Pennington and Henderson tossed the coffin into the back of the truck, slammed the doors shut, and ran around the front cabin, both leaping in one after another through the window as the portly undertaker ran after them down the alleyway. As each went through the window, the sound of a toilet flushing happened for effect. Vroom! The truck pulled out of the alley, the sputtering backfire hitting the portly Undertaker and sending him flying back through a window in the side of the mortuary. He skidded across the floor and straight up underneath a man wearing a trench coat, holding a titty magazine and furiously masturbated. Oh no! The portly Undertaker screamed just as the gross pervert hit his climax, creating a movie wipe across the screen in the shape of scene, which revealed the moving truck with our heroes in it driving down an extremely fake-looking backdrop of a city. You sick motherfucker! You tricked us into thinking you ran the mortuary so we'd help you steal these dead bodies! Pennington cried out, puffing himself up to seem larger and more intimidating. Yeah, so? Masters yelled out in return, grabbing his umbrella from below the dash and poking Pennington's titties with it once more, causing them to deflate cartoonishly.
What is his deal with the titty poking?
Wait. So, wait. Henderson fumbled with his thoughts, rubbing at his beard absently as Pennington and Masters began to tussle over who had control of the wheel. Henderson, help me kill this guy! Pennington cried out, grabbing onto Masters' nose and swaying with the motion of the truck going out of control. But, wait, Henderson continued, scratching the back of his head. Is he gonna fuck the dead guys? Why did he need our help for that?
Great question.
I'm not gonna fuck him, damn it! Masters cried out, trying and failing to keep his hands on the wheel and causing the truck to swerve violently. At least as far as you two know!
Smooth.
I know plenty, Buster! Pennington cried out, then stopped, holding his hand over Masters' face as he struggled to drive still. Not about corpse fucking. I don't know shit about that. We're gonna fucking crash! Henderson screamed out, covering his eyes. I can't believe this is how I fucking die! Pennington cried out, covering his mouth. Now I'll never get that inheritance! Masters yelled, covering his ears. And the moving truck crashed through a gigantic wrought iron fence, careening through a graveyard, sending headstones flying everywhere with funny epitaphs on them like I P Freely and Anita Dickenballs.
Aw, she died?
With one last violent swerve, the truck turned a corner around a mausoleum and drove headfirst into a gigantic open grave, suspiciously the perfect size for a moving truck to ram into. There was a massive cartoonish fiery explosion as it hit the bottom, which shook the entire screen. The camera began to pan down. Down, down, down it went, past dirt and stone, and dinosaur bones, and a big cement box marked Jimmy Hoffa on the side. Down past jagged cave stalactites and into a burning, fiery abyss, the likes of which Johnny had never seen before in his life. Souls wailed, tortured beyond the understanding of mortals. A violent, hateful pain and suffering that never got any better, never hurt any less, never provided a moment's rest. Every moment an eternal agony as fire and brimstone burned at the flesh of sinners. Every manner of horror unfolded before his eyes in a cacophony of screams and wails, for even a single moment's respite within the eternal suffering they endured. Flashing lights.
New Jersey.
Flashing lights, each illuminating another unspeakable nightmare, a horror beyond even imagining, each accompanied by a demon which saw deeply into his own soul, and burned and laughed at the eternal damnation he would suffer, a promise alongside it that the suffering was soon at hand. And below that, in a big black cartoon cauldron filled with bubbling hot lava and soup ingredients, sat 3 sheet ghost versions of Pennington, Henderson, and Masters. As a big burly winged cartoon demon with a big round bulbous nose bouncing with each movement it made, stirred and added spices and cut up carrots into it. Masters sat on one side, his arms crossed, his back to his compatriots, with a big sour frown on his face. Pennington sat on the other side, his cheek resting on his hand, splashing at the bubbling hot lava aimlessly. And in the middle, Henderson sat, his shoulders raised in a big old shrug, looking right at the camera. It's a living, he said.
It's funny because we're dead.
Static. Stage 4. Afraid it's terminal. Second hand, yes. It's not your... A voice in the distance behind the static. Johnny stood inside of the static now, surrounded by voices coming from too far away to completely make out. A cigarette dangled from his lips. "This is your fault!" a shrill, angry voice called out. "You killed her!" It's not your fault, Johnny. Another voice, an unsteady man's voice which carried no hint of truth behind it. Johnny, can you hear for a second? Katie's voice carried from beyond the edges of the static. Johnny followed it, stepping on nothing until he reached its edge. Then he was standing on old, scuffed-up black and white tiles. He was no longer in a hospital bed. He was standing next to one. She looked so small in it he couldn't bear to look up from his feet to see her, even with the burning shame in his stomach. I'll see you soon, okay? Katie said with a soft smile, and pure white light overtook the entire scene. There was the familiar sound of a heart monitor flatlining then, but Johnny didn't know who it belonged to anymore. To be continued.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
What a rubber banding of insanity.
I mean, that
I
was
would fucking... Yeah, you talk.
Yeah.
that was exactly how we agreed to do the podcast. Carrying bodies out of a building. And when we died, we said, let's just do a podcast.
We'll do it straight from hell every other week.
The building said fantasy fiction on it.
And also, Jeff, we are doing it from hell. This is hell.
Yeah, we're in hell.
That makes
right
perfect
now.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I wanted to smoke after that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right, there
Interesting.
there were a few times where Jeff was describing the thick black smoke, and you were like, "Oh yeah."
It's
Look, my man might be dying, and Josh is like, "Oh, give me a puff of that.
I need a hit of that
Quick,
tobacco.
quick, tap his lungs. I'll suck it right out of him.
Let him shotgun it to me.
I had an idea. All of like the Johnny centric stuff was like I had this idea for the story, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be like the most depressing fucking zero joke story ever. And then I was like, wait, I have an idea.
That's great. That was really cool. And it's like, I love like all the little like old gaggy shit that you really like that I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot about like the deflating like, you know, muscles and stuff like that. So good.
Thank you. It's
I love that.
Simultaneously one of the darker things I've ever written, and also the dumbest thing I've ever written.
Yeah.
So,
I do
the
think
show.
you captured what character we would play in a Three Stooges-esque comedy, because we would absolutely play those characters.
absolutely. There's Masters, the rich presenting swindler.
Right.
Pennington, the guy who does not realize he's stupid, that thinks he's the brains of the operation.
It's always sunny. That's what this is. Yeah,
Henderson, the guy who's completely in his own world, does not know what's happening around.
Yes. That definitely is me acting like that.
Art imitates life.
Will the Three Little Lords return? We'll have to see.
God,
we'll have
I
to
hope
find
so.
out.
We could just get the box set.
Yeah.
It's on something.
It's true. It's in the $5 bin at Walmart.
Nobody
Thanks, Truman.
Nobody sees its true value but us. $4.99. Oh man, that was good. I was wondering where you were going to go, because you thought that last episode was the mid-season break and you had ended it on the shot.
Yes. And
So-
I was like, well, I had this idea of what I was going to do when I got back. And I was like, what if I just do that but don't resolve it
Yeah.
in the story?
Yeah, now you're thinking like Daranos. Let's go.
Maybe I'll just start a new story next time and you'll never know what happened to Johnny Law.
I know that feeling.
What about the thing that fucking Gordon found in the field? Will that come up? Nope. You'll never see that again either.
Where's Scrabble Stan?
Dude.
He's dead. Who cares?
Dude. No.
Oh man, I should have had Henderson sleeping with a Scrabble's Dant plushie. That would have what I should have done. Instead, he was holding a beer bottle as if it was the Scrabble's Dant plushie.
Next time you write about the Little Lords, they've got to have a cat that's a feral, stray, like scrawny cat that they call Buff Cat.
Yeah, yeah. He's just a really, really sickly.
In the next Three Little Lords, in the next Three Little Lords segment, Masters is also sleeping in the bottom dresser drawer with him.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought he was gonna be there this time. I was like, oh man.
I thought when it was being moved, I was just gonna appear in the rubble.
Yeah.
No, I just had this idea of you being the one that hired us because you brought us on for the podcast.
Yep. Well, like I said, it's
So
art imitating life. Right.
Sorry, race cars are going by.
Oh, yeah. So you've got race cars. Jeff has lawnmowers. And if anyone is listening who also listens to Toonhounds, they will be aware that I have birds nesting in my roof right above my office.
Oh,
So-
that's terrible.
See,
Man.
the birds keep trying to do that here, but then I open and shut the window hard over and over until they leave.
Well, they have nested, they have laid eggs, and it is illegal to move a wild bird's nest in this country.
I wouldn't move them once they've laid eggs anyway. That's
Oh
fucked.
man, I mean,
Yeah, I'd move them on to the next life.
yeah, I mean, wait until you've had 2 weeks of cheaping above your head, and then I'm ready to commit some birdicide.
You know what? I'll take cheaping over like the Mad Max-esque fucking Death Race 2000 that I have to deal with every day.
Perhaps the chicks will get race cars when they're old enough. Right, on that note, and all those noises that you can probably hear in the ambient background, we're going to take a break, so enjoy this Citizen tune, and we will be back afterwards. Everyone, welcome back to Storylord 64 Ocarina of Time. It's we're gonna head over now. We're Cockaringer of Time.
Cockaringer of mine.
Oh,
We're losing it.
Speaking of losing it, let's head over to Darren's. Josh, you're up.
You should just write a book of like segues. You're so good.
More like
Coffee table book.
More like sex ways.
Oh, okay. So mine don't have the prompts in them, but they were going to be in it, and then I just made them not be in it.
I do believe that means you failed the assignment.
No. I've got a way around this.
It's coming.
Is a deity in it, but
Yeah.
it's because of the delusion we can't see the deity or hear anything about
Exactly. You're not ready for it.
it. Yep.
A+.
Thank you.
It's like that story of that guy in Harvard when he was like, I don't care about this final. I'm going outside. And the professor was like, A+, you get it.
Oh, what is risk? Yeah. This is.
There's
Yeah.
There's an episode of Community where a guy plays that professor in Community. It's very fucking funny.
All right. My title is Subterranean Subtemporal Subway Substitute.
Nice.
Why the hell did we even have to do that stupid episode? I mean, take that subway last week, Squib said, looking directly into the camera. It was a complete waste of time for everyone involved. Axe agreed, also looking into the camera, but also your souls.
Our souls.
Yeah, everyone's souls. I mean, we did move a little bit further to wherever it is we're going, Douglas said as she smiled slightly at them. How far did we even go? Axed. I wrote axed. According to this extremely shot-up train schedule I borrowed from one of those dead lizard things, we're at the Molten Main Line. Squib squinted as he read the bloody handbill. Several shells fell out of the schedule as he turned it sideways to read the time. Yeah, I don't know what that means, Axe shot back. I'm not from this underground turd factory. We went 3 stops, Squib replied. So, like... Squib did some basic math in his head as steam began to spew from his ears because thinking is hard. We went, 200 yards. What? Both Ugla and Axe shouted at him. But we were on that train for, hours, Ugla cried. Man, I hope we have, a 3-week vacation soon. I can't do another 6 stories underground in this nightmare zone. My skin is suffering. I haven't tweezed my eyebrows in months. I probably have 2 or 3 pubes by now, since this place doesn't even have a decent Bardzillion waxatorium salon.
Bardzillion.
Axe said as she flopped down onto her knees, the despair finally getting to all of them, as this trip was not going as planned, or really anywhere, to be honest.
Little meta commentary there.
Also, Axe flopping to her knees. I mean, she's pretty practiced at that, right?
Wow, slut shaming, Rich.
Yeah.
No, shut slut celebrating.
She doesn't feel shame, so you can't.
I'm applauding her.
Yeah, with my cheeks. I know what you mean, Squib replied as he reached down into his pantaloons and pulled out a wad of steel wool-esque hair. Oh. Its roughness scratching at his clothes and skin as he pulled it out from his crotchal area. Ugla and Axe stared at him silently as they began to gag quietly. What? Squib said. It's where I keep my good polishing steel wools.
Tricked your dumbass.
I guess we better trudge onward, Ugla said, trying to remain somewhat not completely out of ideas. Above them stood a sign for the stop they had wandered to. Behind them, the sounds of never-ending and ancient blood feud echoed through the chambers. Boy, those guys sure hated each other last week. If you think the frats should win the race war, text 420 to 666-999. If you think the racist reptoids should win the race war, text, quote, wait, seriously? To, quote, your therapist, you sick fuck, get some fucking perspective. And if you think new M&M color should be blue, text green to black and yellow 4242873219835
Wow.
And send.
I did.
And send. The sign read Molten Main Line. It's like my thought process is crazy.
It's really tickled his fancy that he wrote this for himself.
What a fucking idiot. The sound of rushing fire and molten lava roared. The heat struck the trio's faces as the smell of sulfur and rotten eggs hit their nostrils. Squib breathed in deeply and let out a satisfied sigh. Ah, smells like home, he said, smiling. Axe had at some point applied a large amount of suntan lotion to her porcelain face. She also put on some 1950s style glasses and one of those big hats that big booby ladies wear to the beach, which makes it easy for you to stare at they boobies, especially if you have sunglasses of your own on. Or so I've heard.
At they boobies will never not be funny to me.
Ugla wiped a constant flow of sweat off of her face and wrung out her beard regularly as the sweat dripped from her mighty face muff. Hey, Axe, can I get some of that suntan lotion? Ugla asked. It's not suntan lotion, Ugla shot back. Hey-o! Squib yelled in response. All around were abandoned buildings and streets. Most were literally melted into the rock now. Whatever this place was in the past, it was not lava-proof. Big mistake on the architect's part, if you ask me.
The real fucking junior-ass architect move to not make it lava-proof.
Fucking rookies. Did you even play SimCity? Fuck.
Gotta make it Godzilla-proof as well.
And walking eye-proof. Bone cars were sizzling and their mana power cells were still cooking off and popping like some kind of vegetable that you put in some kind of heat box to make it pop into kernels of salty goodness. If only such a thing existed.
We're learning about the world of Daranos bit by bit.
That's this whole experience, baby. As they passed an alley, they saw a skeletal boy roasting a marshmallow over the sizzling remains of an all-sea refrigerator.
What?
Okay, we've been here long enough to know that boy is actually alive, right? I mean, I could go over there and ask for him for directions and ask where we are exactly, Ugla said pretty confidently. She walked over to the unmoving boy slowly and crouched down a bit to wave a small wave to get his attention. The boy did not move. Excuse me, she said quietly. Excuse me, young lad. The boy remained still, his freshly placed marshmallow slowly burning on the end of another dismembered skeletal arm, its fingers skewering the marshmallow to keep it in place over the flame. Hello, young man, she said again, as she reached over to him and placed a shoulder on his bony shoulder. But before she could shake him awake, his head detached itself from its spine and rolled down next to him. His lifeless eyes stared back at Ugla as the rest of his corpse fell apart into dust. Dust to dust, motherfuck.
Classic.
Ah! Ugla screamed. This wasn't a scream of terror, but of complete exasperation. I've had it with this fudge-packed anal cavity of a shithole, she screamed. This should be good, Axe said as she sat down and now had a fancy drink with a parasol somehow. Every other time, these skeletons are alive. Every single time. Now, I look like an idiot talking to a real dead skeleton, and how did he even get the marshmallow onto the other arm? Where did he get the marshmallows? Where did he get the fucking marshmallows? Ugla screamed as she grabbed Squib's shoulder and shook him like she was trying to give him SIDS. SIDS in this case stands for Squib is definitely smelly.
True.
Hey! A voice from a burning tree echoed through the town. In a small park across a burning street, a skeletal merc monk slammed his door open to his little treehouse. Hey you! Loud bitch! Shut the hell up, will ya? He shouted. Fuck you! Ugla shouted back. This fucking merc monk is alive and a skeleton, but the marshmallow kid is dead? Yeah, okay, buddy. Ugla was now spiraling. My son has track in the morning, you tall-ass, bitch-ass, bearded-ass bitch! Do you have any idea what time it is? How late it is? The merc monk yelled back. No! I fucking don't! Ugla yelled, admitting her ignorance. Oh, brother! The boomer squirrel yelled back. He turned back into his burning treehouse and began to yell for his wife. Hey, Sandra! Get a load of this! This bitch doesn't even know what time it is! Can you believe that? Yeah, that's what I said. I know. What the hell, right? I mean, get real. You can't make this up.
Get real.
And with a final slam of the door, I guess he was done yelling at Ugla. Heyo! Squib shouted back to break the uncomfortable silence. For the next several hours, the three marched deeper into a fiery molten hellscape in near silence. A fire bapple did fly by and squeaked cutely at them, which only caused Ugla to tell it to suck its own, quote, chair-ass dick. But that was about the extent of the talking. Ugh. Axe kneeled down, feeling pain in her stomach. What's wrong, evil Ugla? Squib asked genuinely. He called her evil Ugla. I feel nauseous, nauseated. I don't know. I feel sick, she admitted quickly. Oh, you're pregnant. I knew it. I'm gonna be a dad. I take full responsibility for little Hatchet Squibulon Jr. Squib began to clap excitedly.
Squibulon.
You're a fucking moron, Axe said back as she tried to stand. It's mana sickness. There's something up ahead. I feel like I just ran into a wall of thickness, like the air got heavy. Why isn't Ugla feeling it? Squib asked expositionally. Who knows? Who cares, Axe said. Ugla was now throwing rocks at the fire bapples and saying that if any of them were real men, they'd fly down there and fight her bare knuckles boxing style. Come on, Axe shouted at Squib. As she ran past Ugla, she grabbed the wizard's sleeve and pulled. Ugla spun around and got the hint. The three ran for several kilometers deeper into the bowels of this godforsaken fudge-packed shitbox. Finally, they turned a corner and saw a vast chasm of molten lava and magma pouring down from the ceiling. But also, they saw two ant creatures. What the fuck? Ugla said, all cool like. They watched as the black ant reached down to grab a cold steel axe from the side of the cavern. But just as the scene had started, a ripple of the air shifted, and the players reset like it was a Nintendo at your cousin's house after you beat his ass at Skate or Die.
Nice.
Skate or die, 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 die. I didn't write that. It's just I remember the song. Again, the scene began to play out, but this time the onlookers got to see it from its beginning. There, through the ceiling again, fell a dragon and axe wound. Whoa, this is far out, Axe said groovily. That's you, Ugla shouted back at her companion. Yeah, I remember this. Axe studied the events as she recalled them clearly as she watched the events play out again and again. Her eyes locked onto the blue steel ice, like Axe stuck inside of the chasm as the black ant reached down and grabbed the handle, only for the scene to reset over and over and over again. Axe wound grabbed her stomach as she began to writhe in pain. Temporal predestination indigestion, Squib said in his best doctor's voice. Both Ugla and Axe shot him a look. They shook their heads in disgust. What? You guys make up shit all the time. God damn, I'm just trying to help, Squid said, trailing off as he walked away. Axe righted herself and stumbled forward on her shaky legs. The energy around the repeating scene was like walking through a molasses swamp, a delicious maple syrupy swamp where all of your breakfasty dreams come true, but walking would be really hard and sticky. I love maple syrup.
I do.
Maple syrup is delicious.
It's the best.
So good. As she reached the repeating scene, her eyes locked onto the axe. The axe of such power and awesomeness that she had risked almost everything for it. That felt like a lifetime ago. Was this why she was stuck here? Could this axe get them home? Did she have a home? Her eyes glistened as the axe shone brightly in the molten light of the chasm. Finally, as the scene began once more, she trudged over and grabbed the handle and wrenched it from its place, embedded epicness in the wall of the molten cave. Suddenly, all the weight of her surroundings faded. She held the axe in her right magical arm, and its power surged through her arm into her shoulder socket. Electricity flowed, a hot white, into her very being. Her arm seized onto the handle as the mighty weapon as its power shot its electrical ejaculate into her soul.
I'm glad I didn't make the joke I was gonna make because you made it. So
it's like we're the same person. Time slowed. She could see Ugla running toward her in slow motion. Axe moved her head and saw the ant and giant red big-ass ant with him reset into their original positions. The scene, not having played out to its fullest yet, resetting anyway. Then she felt it. Ice-cold veins shoot through her magical arm. They grew from the hilt of the object and seeped their way into her illusory flesh. The pain and chill they sent up her arm caused her to cry in pain and happiness. She could feel. Her arm could feel, and she could feel it. Wow, good writing.
look,
She raised the
Pulitzer is coming. Is all I'm saying.
look, coming C-U-M-M. She raised the axe high above her head, and its power exploded into her like my dick exploded in your mom 9 months before you were born. Her arm felt heavier, more real, as cold steel plating began to clank and cover her green magic arm, the armor seemingly growing out of the weapon into her very being. It was part of her. She felt power again. What the fuck? You! Shouted Scrabble's Dant as he pointed two hands at Axe Wound. I'm gonna fucking turn that Grawl 10 face of yours into an Orc Spire too. You're fucking dead.
God, you killed him.
Stop smoking, Jeff. Come on.
Sorry.
You're fucking dead, he shouted as he lunged toward Axe. Without thinking, she simply turned as he stumbled forward and almost fell over into the cliff of lava. Her instincts kicked in and she grabbed him by his tattered shirt, saving him from the fall. The fuck are you saving me for, you fucking wench? Dant said as he spun, kicked around, and landed a solid hit on Axe's face. She stumbled backwards and grabbed her chin, wiping blood from her lip. She licked the blood from her lip and finger and smiled at Dant. As much as this would be super fun, I really don't have time for this, Axe said calmly. Ugla had now reached the group as she slid to a stop next to the giant red ant. Who the hell are you? The ant lady said, looking down at the bearded human. Who am I? You're like an 8-foot-tall ant lady, Ugla replied. With boobs, Squib added. Give me the axe. Axe? Dant said confusingly. Look, ant guy, I don't think I can. Look, she held out her arm, which was clad in a shining blue plate armor. Like every anime character everyone wants to fuck a pillow of. It shone brightly and glistened against Dant's many compound eyes. I'll just have to rip your arms off, Dan said matter-of-factly. He lunged forward and got Axe in a bear hug with his forearms. Axe winced as the ant was very strong. She laughed a bit at the awkward situation. Come here often, she said, looking up at Dant. This only enraged the Ant-Man more as he began to punch the Queen of Evil in the face with his two fists. She laughed again as blood splattered on the molten rocks around her, sizzling as it hit. I miss this, Axe said, smiling through a bloody smile. Jesus, Ugla said.
She's a super freak.
Jesus, Ugla said. This bitch needs therapy. Hey-o! Squib again yelled, catchphrasingly. Dant headbutted Axe in the nose. He felt bone and popping as his forehead met her perfectly rhinoplasty nose bridge. Blood thick and red splattered against his face as Axe Wound stumbled backwards, still laughing. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff. You really got me there, she said, goading him. But Dant was already on the move. He grabbed the axe handle with his hand and pulled, releasing it from Axe's grip. Axe's grip of the axe. Lowercase axe was gripped no longer by uppercase axe. This is hard.
Got it.
Whose idea was this? This is stupid.
It's almost like her full name is Axe Wound, and you could be using that.
Good. I mean, I could.
Where were you yesterday, Jeff?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff. So unhelpful.
As always.
As he pulled the axe out of her hand, he turned, knelt down, and elbowed a double elbow into Axe's gut. She heaved heavily as she flew backwards, coughing and wheezing for air. Oh, yes! Now I won't have to take birth control today or stand next to an all-see microwave or anything, she said boldly. She laughed again as she held out her magical hand. Before he could react, the axe was no longer in Dant's hands and had seemingly teleported back to its masters. You witch, Dant said, heaving. Oh, like Thor, Squib said. Who? Ugla asked, looking down. It's a comic I'm working on. It's about a guy who's really a god. You know what? I don't care, Ugla said as she turned her attention back to the fight.
There's your deity. You've got it.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a god.
Nice. Aww, Squib said dejectedly. Hey-o, Axe said, still laughing and coughing up blood. Enough, shouted the Red Queen. She held out her hands, and a bright flash of holy light shot from her many arms. It blinded everyone for a split second, just enough for everyone to stop fighting and get their shit together. Whoa, that was cool, Ugla whispered to the Red Queen. Thank you, polite mammal, the queen responded. She walked over to Axe and held out a hand to Axe's forehead. Holy magical light spread through her body and healed her many external and internal wounds, but not the psychological ones. Those you can't heal with magic. Trust me.
Uh-oh.
Patented. And I wrote, patented Josh Henderson cry for help sting. So now I gotta make one of those.
I mean, the fact that none of us laughed, it shows it's not just it's not patented anymore.
It's still patented.
No, we've challenged it. We've challenged it at the patent office.
Look, that is how patents work.
Patents work.
If no one laughs, then it's not patented anymore. That's how patents work.
Yep, that's the rules. I'm patenting that rule. So there you go.
We didn't laugh, so it's not patented.
Yeah, it looks like you've lost your patent.
Yep,
Shit.
that's how it works.
Damn you. Hoisted by my own petard.
Oh, you're a cleric, Ugla said, amazed. Among many other things, the Red Queen replied. Dant gritted his mandibles as he unclenched his fists. He did not trust this evil witch. We can't trust this evil witch, my queen, Dant said.
I'll never get tired of that.
It's one of my go-to jokes. Something feels off, the Red Queen said, looking around. We've moved. Once we get back to the surface, we can find a place for you to hide your highness, Dan said. Perhaps the southern desert, or maybe even as far as Grawl. About that, Ugla said, wincing. To be continued!
We've skipped the awkward exposition stage.
No, Josh should do a whole episode of exposition next time. Just so that people have to suffer.
Fucking funny. That would be so fucking funny if you just did a whole episode recounting what's happened so much.
You could use it as a massive retcon tool and just erase everyone's knowledge of everything that happened in fantasy fiction.
That's a great idea.
Unfortunately, we have said it on the show, but fortunately, we did laugh at it, so it is still patented.
It is patented.
Yeah.
You did get that patent through, Rich. Good job.
Thanks.
Oh, man.
Now that was fucking hilarious.
That was
dude.
good.
What a stupid episode.
You are. Everyone's getting like magic weapons gradually. It's really cool. I like it. It's like a X of Swords thing, like with Apocalypse.
Yeah, well, that's like one of my favorite things about like any fantasy. Like I was super like jacked about that in Game of Thrones when everyone was like, "Oh, we need the fucking Valyrian steel," and then they like kind of like totally fucking forgot about that for you know?
Like magical weapons are cool as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. More of that. More weps.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Huge fan of "Heyo" as the new catchphrase. We're gonna have to merchandise that with a squib plushie that yells "Heyo."
It has 17 different kinds of Heyos. It's all the same. It's just all the same Heyo.
Yeah, they're slightly different keys. Slightly different.
Heyo, 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 Heyo.
Someone has literally just run him through like one key of an auto tuner for every single one.
This one sounds like T-Pain.
Oh, that was good. That was so funny.
Scrabble's Dant is back. Everyone could get off Josh's ass about it.
He's back.
No, they'll just transfer to Taint Maple now.
It's true.
Yeah. Taint Maple's a set piece.
Yeah.
He's not a character.
But also,
he's a thing.
He's like
Taint Maple came back once already, though.
Yeah.
Well,
but he's like a what's Bigfoot, Mothman, what they call cryptid. He's like a cryptid for Daranos.
Yeah. Every now and then, like, if this were a cartoon, you just see him in the background just marching around.
It's still to this day the most fucked up, weird ass thing that was ever on Storylords does not come from Rich's fucked up science fiction stories or my horror stories. It comes from Josh's fantasy story about a tree being cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because which one even is its dick?
I mean, it knew, but we don't have to.
I could read it again if you'd like.
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
I don't want to open this.
That's a whole 6 clicks.
It's all the way to the corner. I don't fucking...
It's excellent.
Oh, thanks.
Fucking loved it.
I mean, I love characters in your stories being self-referential about how the story goes nowhere, but it's still funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So
You don't have to.
Same.
There you go.
I mean, it's working, right? So
I guess. I don't know. People listen? I don't know.
The secret to make it seem like you know what you're doing is just keep ending on a cliffhanger over and over, or so I've heard.
Or so I've heard.
I mean,
The secret is to put glasses on so you can look at the titties.
True.
don't do any planning. Some of them don't like that.
No, you don't want to plan too much, but you can't not plan. I don't know.
Do it, but don't do it.
I'm gonna go stand next to a microwave about it.
An all-C refrigerator.
Yeah. Although some fridges are connected to the internet, so
They play music now, dude. You ever go to one of those fridge places, like a I don't know, Best Buy or whatever? They got fucking fridges.
and they've got that
Best
little
Buy has fridges?
Mine does. Yeah.
Wow.
that some of them have got that thing where you can tap on the door and it goes transparent so you can see what's inside
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just
I don't know
open
why...
the door!
Yeah, but then you don't
you
lose
don't
the
lose
you don't use energy, yeah. Apart from the energy.
It costs energy to make the door.
The door,
transparent.
Your dad never yelled at you for opening the fridge door too long?
You're letting all the cold out.
My dad yelled at me for everything, all right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know he did, because mine did too.
I'll open the fridge and fucking stand there if I want now. I'm paying it.
Do you know what? When Evan opens the door, I have a flash of that, of my parents saying,
Yeah.
"Don't let the cold out." Like
you
there's a
gotta
limited amount of
stop
cold.
yourself.
And then he hangs on the door, and I'm like, "Thank God, I've got something to tell him off
God.
about."
That's a different. It's slightly different.
Don't hang off the door. You will break the door.
Yeah, you can't hang on the door, man. That's.
On that note,
What is this show about?
it's about 3 old men moaning. That's what it's about. Stay tuned for more Little Lords coming straight after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Story Lord 64, Mum-Jorah's Mask. There we go, that bit's done now. So it's my turn to read.
Jorah's ass.
Nice! I'm going to read now. I'm really psyched about it. So
So excited.
my title this week is Delusions of Blandure, or whatever gets me to the season midpoint. If you don't like it, skip it or suck my dick.
Wow.
Wait.
That's the whole title?
Yep.
That's not a choice, because I'm picking the second one.
Okay,
every time.
all right. The dwarf, Chudley, set off down the path, pulling his little red wagon with the wonky wheel behind him. He very well knew what day it was. He'd been planning it for weeks now, but that didn't make his task any less sad or depressing. He had just finished his day's duties, which consisted of helping with the town regeneration project, then sitting on the Omniverse Trade Council, then stapling the bits of his dead flesh back to his skull, then shopping for the big party.
And the prom's tomorrow.
Why the hell they'd chosen to live this far out of the settlement still annoyed the little-legged undead dwarf Chudley, but he couldn't really tell off the saviours of the universe now, could he? Could he? Could he? No, he probably couldn't. To be honest, he was just glad to be out of the house. His wife had been on his back big style lately about his previously decomposed flesh shedding all over the floor. He
His
didn't
wife?
complain.
Chudley the tiny dwarf has a wife?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Love finds a way.
He didn't complain that she left all her cleansers and toners and whatever all over their shared bathroom. And by bathroom, he meant a bucket in the middle of the field outside their shack.
Why would he care if all that stuff is out there then?
I'm having a little bit of a hard time following this narrative.
What a grumpy ass bitch, damn.
He could have done what all the previously undead residents of Ithia had done and visited the live stream to regenerate and become alive again. But Chudley would wait until everyone else had had their turns. Even after nearly 2 decades, he would still be waiting a long time. He just hated queuing for stuff.
Same.
As he arrived, he saw the little shack that had been built next to the memorial and the meeting hall that had been erected 12 years ago and not set foot in after their last meeting. It was a waste. The children of the township said so, but they didn't remember the service, the lives given, the fiends destroyed. The memorial hadn't been tended to for a while, and thick ivy grew over the statue. That wouldn't do at all. Chudley grabbed his shears from the wagon and clipped at the statue, a sculpture of a stone watch, a keytar, a sock, a shield, and a moth's wing gradually revealed itself from underneath. It was a beautiful statue, but it didn't really capture the real depth of their characters, or the heroism, or the big dick energy of the lord who had created them. As he pulled the last of the ivy away, a shadow fell over him. Ah, Chudley, I am glad that you have remembered our friends. It is hard for me to do that sometimes, with my duties being what they are. The robot Heath stood over him, rust-covered and almost hobbling, as if every step was painful. He sat next to Chudley on the grass and put a hand to his shoulder. How have you been? Chudley thought for a second. Had it really only been a year since he'd last seen Heath? His deterioration made it seem like a lifetime ago. Well, to be honest, I'm more worried about yous. Have you spoken to Stalker lately? Heath looked confused. A cool sweat spread quickly across Chudley's back. You remember Stalker? Great Atlas morph. Vaguely Russian accent. Eats garbage. Brought into the first season far too late and quickly became a fan favourite. Was he Scottish or Irish, Chudley? I don't care. Technomancer tore his wings. Kind of an asshole. Heath shook his head and got up to his feet, suddenly confused. Even in his featureless robotic face, Chudley could see the fear. No, I have not seen Stoker for more than 364 days. Muttering, he moved swiftly towards the house he had built for Stoker. But doesn't he come to check on you, to charge your power source? How could you have missed seeing him all this time? Chudley half ran to keep up with Heath, his little dwarf legs not up to the speed. My sleep cycle has been altered somehow. Stoker normally wakes me. If not him, then one of the others check on me. Ludwig or Lionel. Sometimes Blotch. He turned to Chudley. What day is this? Chudley squinted. He should know most of all. It's the 19th anniversary of the battle, when you took care of the Technomancer. Since you captured him inside here. Heath, how long has it been since you've seen anyone? Since you've been recharged? Heath looked at Chudley, his eyes wider somehow. Nearly a year. He quickly moved to the stone hall. Chudley could tell something was wrong immediately, but as he looked up to the ceiling, all he could think of was how he should have gone and stood in line to be alive again. The coffee shop didn't technically exist, but that didn't stop it from having a 1-star Yelp rating and the stench of disappointment soaked into the upholstery like digital cum stains. On another table, a student sat on his laptop writing a screenplay for his new 90s coming-of-age flick. Teenage girl isn't actually an uggo. She's secretly hot, but just wears glasses.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
It was surprisingly okay. And of course, it had Freddie Prinze Jr. and Neve Campbell in it, even though they're both in their 50s now.
Oh, man.
A neon sign flickered open, even though the door mysteriously had no handle. Inside, everything was a little off. The air was too still. The pretentious jazz loop glitched every 17 bars. The waitress had the dead eyes of someone who had seen the wonders of the universe and still came back just as vacuous and dead inside as, oh wait, that's just Katy Perry getting a coffee. The waitress was just tired.
Damn.
She went to space.
I don't know if you guys know that or not. You may have missed that little tidbit. It wasn't everywhere or anything.
She came back and kissed the ground because that's what you do.
I mean, she ruined space for me, I've got to be honest. I don't want to exist in the
X
same...
had already done that. Don't worry about
All
it.
they had to do was send Katy Perry up, and now everyone's like, nobody cares.
That's it, we're going under the sea.
Who gives a fuck?
C-Lab time.
Brad actually sat at a cracked Formica booth, one boot on the table, one hand stirring a spoon in a mug of whatever passed for coffee in this reality. Still, it was how he liked it. Aromatic, bitter, and something he could put something long and hard into and jiggle it around. He shook his head, shook away the programming of Brad Atchie. That wasn't him. It was a fabrication of cliché and bravado. He took his boot down from the table and sat forward. The rest of the gang were slouched across from him, equally as uncomfortable. William was permanently scowling like someone owed him something. He was constantly having to be talked down from going postal in some of these reality excursions, and Brad just didn't trust him. Didn't feel like he was the only one. Jim looked tired of these incessant meetings. He just wanted to be free and seemed to be barely holding it together. Aki sipped a mix of milk, coffee and Coke like it was a normal drink. She now spent her...
God,
What the fuck?
That's fucking disgusting.
She now spent her trips trying everything she could with no repercussions, trying to find some sort of joy in the jumps. Liz sat as she often did, smiling like she knew the punchline to a joke no one else had heard yet. And Maggie was eyeballing Will as if he had wronged her 1,000,000 times in 1,000,000 different realities. Oh, and they were all badgers, because they were in the badger reality again.
This fucking badger reality's coming up too often.
Because Lee Wen's Tex had written that reality off and weren't watching it.
Ooh, nice.
Eleanor arrived exactly on time, which was suspicious. She slid into the booth with a synthetic sigh, trench coat flaring like she was auditioning for a noir movie on that clown island or Darrenos.
Now I'm just picturing all these fucking characters, a fucking badger in a trench coat. This is crazy.
Brad was...
The way it's described, Bradley Achi is on one side of this booth, and every other
Everyone's on the other side.
Yep.
Big booth.
He sat down and he put his arms out and no one wanted to sit next to him. Brad was still caught in two minds whether to completely trust Eleanor. In truth, he was caught in minds about almost everything now. Nice of you to show up, Brad said. We were starting to think you'd ghosted us again. I don't ghost, Eleanor replied, pulling out a tablet. I have to be careful who's watching me. Semantics, muttered William, already bored. Where the hell are we with planning our escape from this nightmare? Eleanor tapped a few things, then turned the screen around. All right, here's the deal. I've been slightly distracted by something big. Will threw his hands in the air. Well, don't let us get in the way of your Sudoku, Dr. ADHD. You morons can listen to this trash. I'm going to hope this shithole stocks beer, or maybe I'll go sniff the aerosols in the bathroom or something. He pushed his way past the others and skulked off, muttering. Big loss, you piece of shit, Maggie tutted. All right, Elle, what's more important than saving 6 people from the Hatrix Reloaded? Nice. Eleanor smirked at her. How about saving everyone? Shutting down Omnicore, putting the bosses behind bars. Including that Skeletor-looking motherfucker who thinks he's a god, right? Brad said, the image of the Technomancer still dancing in the fear centres of his brain. Especially him, Eleanor said, a quaver in her voice. Liz smiled like a psychopath, remembering all the deaths, all the misery they'd been subjected to over the last 3 years. Fuck yes, they need to suffer. Maggie put a hand to her friend's shoulder. They will, don't worry about it. So, I've been watching the subroutines under C Sector 17. It's like this dead zone where no one sends volunteers anymore. And I'm seeing this. She pulled up a blueprint on the tablet. It showed a heat map of the Omnicore building, pulsing with energy signatures. Deep within the facility, a bright red circle pulsed. A lot of heat downstairs. It's like the building has an STI, Aki offered. Well, it's worse than crabs, Eleanor said. Not that I'd know. That area has more grip than a black hole or a creepy uncle with boundary issues on Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, no.
It's
No.
it's sucking in power and it's messing with jump stability. Volunteers are reporting loops, bleed over from other worlds, phantom memories. One guy remembers being at his birthday party 3 times this year, and only once was he the birthday boy. Other 2, clown and birthday cake candle. Must have been Will, Maggie glared. Only way that sociopathic motherfucker will get blown with any consent. Brad leaned back.
Fuck.
Holy shit.
Got him.
So what?
Hey-o!
So what? Another secret experiment nested in the plumbing. What's more evil and fucked than this? Shit, you don't think it's where the NYPD store all their discarded body cam footage, do you?
They just delete those.
Yeah, they don't even turn them on, dude.
No, it's controlled. It's deliberate. Someone's hiding another permanently running reality down there. And I think it's when. Everyone stiffened. When? Maggie asked. As in, the fuckwit who built this reality jumping tech and imprisoned us here? Yeah, that when. Jim frowned. I thought he was focused on using us for whatever they've been doing. That's what Omnicorp wants us to think. But someone's been drawing massive system resources into that wing, and none of the logs match. The jumps you're taking, they're not even working because all that power, all that data is being rerouted to search in the Omniverse for something different. Brad narrowed his eyes. So, we find Wen's dirty secrets, we expose him, and then we nuke the whole place, right? That's the working plan, Eleanor said. I've slotted a window this Friday. You'll get loaded into a stable sandbox, and then I'll create a gap in the data flow so you can exit mid-jump into the power drain reality.
Oh my god, slow down.
The fact that this is a bunch of badgers discussing it.
This is all Badger's thing.
That doesn't sound particularly safe, Aki said flatly. It's not. Oh, good, Brad said, finishing his coffee. Finished one way or the other. That's absolutely fine with me. As the others agreed, the world jolted. The waitress dropped a pot of coffee. It shattered, but it didn't spill. The jazz loop snapped. A television above the counter flicked to life. No one had noticed it until now. A voice boomed, static-laced and falsely warm. Omnicorp would like to announce that Dr. Lee Wen has completed his tenure with us. We thank him for his invaluable contributions and wish him well in his next endeavour. The screen cut to black. Everyone turned to Eleanor. She didn't blink, didn't move. They know, Jim said quietly. No, Eleanor whispered. They can't know. And anyway, it doesn't change anything. We have to believe. We have to have faith that we can do this. Outside, the fake sky turned red for a moment. Inside, nobody breathed. Liz finally broke the silence. Well, that's not fucking ominous at all, is it? The sky was so blue, Brad squinted up at it, unable to believe it. Then down at his outfit. Pressed khakis, boat shoes, and a cardigan. The cardigan had a sewn-in name tag. It read, "Howdy, I'm Bradford." He nearly threw up in response.
Jesus, this is hell. Badger hell.
I hate this, Maggie said, smothering her polka dot skirt. This whole Stepford suburbia thing. I passed a mailbox and I think it winked at me. Across the street, a man was mowing his lawn in a perfect figure-8 pattern, smiling wide enough to show his molars. It's like I've been face-fucked by Norman Rockwell's wet dream, William growled.
Norman Cockwell.
He was wearing suspenders. Suspenders! I swear to God, if someone offers me homemade lemonade, I'm going to set someone on fire. Jim gritted his teeth. 1950s America seems a perfectly covert place for a 6'5" black man. There's a wood over there. I wonder which one will be my new forever home.
Oh my God.
He's not wrong.
Maggie laughed, but there was no humour in it. I won't let that happen, Jim, to either of us. I'll say one thing for it, Liz said, biting into an apple that had just appeared on a gingham-covered table next to them. Everything's quiet. Nobody's screaming, no one's dying. The birds are harmonising in D minor. The birds must be part of the surveillance system, Aki said deadpan, just like the real world. Oh, good. Aki's gone insane, Will muttered.
Agree to disagree.
Do your own research.
Yeah.
Brad took it all in. The perfect hedges, the aggressively cheerful pastel houses, the unsettling lack of anything real. Where the hell is Eleanor? He muttered. She said she'd pull us out after 10 minutes. Well, it's been 40, Liz replied, checking her watch, which only displayed smiley faces and the words, everything's swell. Well, all right. Let's not panic, Brad said, already panicking. Maybe this is part of the plan. Maybe a loudspeaker crackled to life from the sky. Good morning, Pleasant Grove. Don't forget to smile until your jaw cramps and you can't feel your feelings anymore. And remember, normalcy is patriotism. Wait, Aki said, narrowing their eyes. Do you guys see that weirdo over there? Be more specific, Maggie sneered. Aki pointed. At the far end of the cul-de-sac, a man was standing perfectly still, watering a garden full of artificial grass and plants. His clothes were slightly off, his tie too modern, his shoes scuffed like he'd run 1,000 miles in them. Do we know him? Jim asked. Brad stared. I think we used to. They approached, and as they got closer, Brad could feel it, the tension in the man's shoulders, the slight twitch in his eye. He muttered softly under his breath. Sir? Liz asked. Are you all right? The man turned. It was Dr. Lee Wen. Or it used to be. Now he was just a face with a name badge that read, Hello, I'm Herbert. And he blinked at them like they weren't there. I'm just waiting for the roses to bloom, he said. They always bloom on Tuesdays. Unless it rains. Does it ever rain here? Brad said softly. No, Wen whispered, then stared off into the middle distance. Holy shit, Aki breathed. They scrambled him. No, Brad said. They buried him. This whole Pleasantville act. It's a prison if ever I saw one. And he's the inmate who doesn't know he's locked up. William scowled. Then let's take us with him. Take him with us. Use him. Bake sale mafia or no bake sale mafia? Right, Brad nodded. Time to stir up some suburban sedition. He turned to the group. Who wants to commit several minor misdemeanours and at least one felony against a fabricated reality? Maggie raised her hand.
I do. I love this idea.
Do we get to punch a sentient picket fence or a few definite white supremacists? Almost certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They gathered in Wen's faux kitchen, a cheery hellscape of gingham curtains and ceramic ducks, as well as a fridge that dispensed the national anthem instead of ice.
All sea fridge. There you go. It's just part of the surveillance system, guys.
All right. So, how do we deprogram him? William asked. Brad leaned against the microwave, which cheerfully announced the time as good o'clock. We need a memory. I think we might need a memory trigger. Something big enough to break through this Pleasant Grove programming. What did he love? Liz asked. Nazi science? Certainly isn't ethics. There was a sudden jingle from outside. Ice cream truck music. Just warped enough to suggest it might be selling brain chips instead of Ben & Jerry's. Jim peeked through the window. You guys aren't going to like this. They followed him to the curb where Dr. Lee Wen, still Herbert, was skipping happily towards the truck, clutching 2 dimes and humming Yankee Doodle with militant enthusiasm. Oh, fuck no, Maggie whispered. He's way too far gone. No, he isn't, Brad said. I think he's compensating. You don't hum like that unless you're trying to drown out your own thoughts. My pre-programmed self used to do it when other men were getting changed in the gym. He thought on it for a second, revealing a truth about himself he hadn't recognised until now. He muttered, then nodded. The group followed out the door.
He handled that well.
The group followed out the door discreetly, as when... That doesn't make sense because they were already at the curb. Forget that. The group followed discreetly. There we go. Delete. As Wen accepted a salted caramel cone from the driver and sat on a bench. I don't think you people should be here, Wen murmured to himself. He'll find out. He'll put you deep underground, like he did with me. Brad sat down next to him. Do you ever get the feeling you're in the wrong skin? Maybe that the crimes of the past are now catching up with you? That you could take a step on the path to redemption by just helping us? He asked casually. Wen blinked. I mean, I once had a dream where I was a fax machine. That probably wasn't a dream, Aki muttered. Look, Herbert, or whatever you're going by today, you're not crazy, you're misplaced. Temporarily misfiled in the Happy Days nightmare. Wait, I've got a really good idea. Should we Fonzie hit him like a jukebox?
Couldn't hurt.
Wen looked at the ice cream, then at Brad. You're not real, are you? We're very real, Maggie said, sitting across from him. We're stuck in sitcom hell with you. Aki plopped beside him and snapped her fingers. You're Lee Wen, Dr. Lee Wen, the guy who invented omniversal travel. Did I? You also dated a clone of yourself for 6 months, according to New Scientist, Liz added. You said it was for research.
Technically true.
Wen frowned.
Technically masturbation.
Wen frowned. That does sound like me. Look, we need to you to remember more, Doc, Brad said, gently but firmly, because we need to get out of here, and you're coming with us. Wen stared into his cone like it held the answers. There's something under the surface here, like a humming, a frequency. I hear it. That's the system, William said. It's keeping you numb. Brad leaned. Then let's make some noise. Liz turned to Brad. You know you're not actually a hero cop anymore, right? Brad grabbed her shoulders and sobbed. I just can't help it, Liz. Somewhere, deep in the guts of the simulation, things began to creak. The sky glitched as birds became planes and reverted back again. Maggie and Liz looked at each other, their expressions saying more than words could. Aki hissed under her breath. We need to get him out of here now. Eleanor isn't showing up. You think she's been... A throat cleared behind them. Brad turned to find 5 smiling dads in tucked-in polo shirts with Pleasant Grove Security Committee Neighbourhood Watch printed on them, and all wearing slip-on loafers.
Oh my god.
You can't run in those.
The man at the front of the group smiled a fake smile and leaned in. Good day, residents. Do you have a permit for sitting on this bench? Do you have a permit for that intense erectile dysfunction Marga energy you're carrying around? Maggie scoffed as she turned back to the group. Do you believe this set of... One man grabbed her at her shoulder and she swiftly turned and kicked him in the balls, or the flat surface where his balls should have been. The man didn't fall. He rotated like a cardboard cutout on a Lazy Susan, then reset to smiling. Use of excessive force authorised, people, Brad yelled as he tore the clipboard from the man and caved it half into his face.
Jesus.
He went down harder than your mother would after another birthday passes without a life partner. Get out there, Emily. Go live your best life.
Emily.
Somebody is specifically freaking the fuck out now that you said Emily.
They're like, that's my mom's name.
Well, go get your dick on, Emily. A chance to beat up a middle-aged white man with delusions of grandeur. Fuck yeah, said Aki, vaulting off the porch with a flying kick.
This is so cathartic. Please let this happen.
What followed was a full-on cul-de-sac beatdown. Dad Fu versus the full force of people with half-remembered lives throughout the Omniverse. They don't feel pain, Jim shouted as he pulled a mailbox from the ground and swung for the fences on a dude, his head ripping off and smashing a window 3 doors down, which would really piss off the Homeowners Association.
Yeah, they don't like that type of shit, trust me.
Not because of the head, but because the mailbox is not in the right
Yeah,
place.
exactly.
The aesthetic damage to the town is what matters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No pain, just like most entitled white people who don't recognise their own privilege. But they do bleed.
It's a lib-cunky episode we got here.
What was the review? What was it?
Oh, that was for M class.
Yeah, what was it? What was it though? I forget.
We're interrupting Rich's story.
That's all right.
Sorry.
It was some sort of lib-cuck bullshit that they always
something
do on.
Yeah.
But they do bleed, and it's probably mayonnaise, Brad said, roundhouse kicking one man into a sprinkler, which went right through his chest and then proceeded to douse them all in blood.
That's so cool.
They looked psychotic, but they all smiled. The fake neighbour spluttered and twitched, emitting static and the phrase, "It's a great day to obey," like an alt-right Furby.
You mean regular Furby.
That's true. William boxed one into the bushes with a shovel. Liz broke a lawn flamingo over a second's head and impaled him with the sharp end before she screamed, "I hate forced wholesomeness!" as she followed through with a left hook. One of the committee members tried to nerve pinch Maggie, who bit him and then poked his eyes out with her thumbs. This was the culmination. This was the culmination of all their pain, of every death, every mistreatment over the last 3 years. It was catharsis on a scale no one could ever achieve in real life. When the last of them melted into a puddle of khaki and familial repression, Brad dusted off his hands. Well, that's the violence quotient of the episode done. What now?
They know.
When, still recovering from the memory flood, looked around at the carnage. I think I remember something, he said shakily. Password 123? The world around them screeched in a sensation they were all too familiar with, and as they were pulled from their fake bodies, they knew that this could finally be the freedom they craved. They landed hard. Brad hit the tiled floor with a grunt and immediately tasted bleach and capitalist despair. As he looked around, he saw himself and the others on the floor, having fallen from their reality jumping pods. It was the Omnicorp building, all right down to the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry hornets with opinions about body autonomy, and the air that smelled recycled. Is this? Maggie sat up, blinking. Are we back? Looks like it, Aki said, tapping the floor to make sure it was real. Wen lay on his back, groaning. Oh, this is so painful. Jim pulled Wen to his feet and slammed him against the wall. Imagine 3 years of it, you murdering piece of shit. Wen made flabbergasted noises. Murderer? What are you talking about? William felt in his pocket, felt the sharp edge of the thing he knew was there. We felt every death in our counterpart's body, every assault, every loss of a loved one, all their trauma hardwired into us, like we were some bucket for all the universe's painful shits. Liz gritted her teeth. I had no way of knowing that. Wen was sweating now. You have to believe me. Maggie barked a laugh. Why? Why would we believe any more lies that come out of your mouth? Brad, who had been content to let them bully Dr. Wen until now, was just about to intervene when he felt a chill at his back, as if someone had run an icy finger down his butt crack. He turned.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. He turned to find out they weren't alone. Hank Roselar sat in a polo neck with the sleeves rolled up and sat in a chair in the corner of the room. He sat. That's good writing. Smiling over his hands that were clasped under his chin. Brad shivered at the mere sight of the evil thing wearing his skin like a funeral shroud. Yes, Lee. Why would they believe you, he said, when all of this, everything we've done, is a lie? A simple delusion. Fuck this, William said, stepping forward and pulling the sharpened toothbrush he had sneaked into his pocket that morning. He barged the others out of the way, and before Brad could stop him, he plunged the toothbrush deep into Lee Wen's throat. The doctor gasped for air, which leaked in viscous bubbles of blood from the hole in his neck. Jim dropped him, forearms covered in blood. All anyone else could do was stare. Panic took Wen's eyes as he clawed at his own mouth, begging for breath that wouldn't flood his lungs. And as he slumped forward dead, laughter came from the corner of the room, and the thing that was Hank Roselar shed his skin. It slipped off of chrome bone and cable and fell to the floor in a heap of sagging and twitching flesh. Oh no, William whispered. Consequences of my actions. I'm a white man, I'm not used to that. There's no need to panic, the thing said. It's tentacled. Brad hoped it was a finger and not his dick. Bleck beckoned them closer. But it wasn't just a beckon, more like a pull towards him, as if he was a well of gravity. As they all stepped closer, Liz could feel her very wheel being eaten away, sucked from her like your mum's sloppiest toppiest.
Holy shit.
All this suffering was an experiment, as well as I had to find myself, he laughed. Not like a college leaver on spring break, but finding my body. And now I have, well, I'm afraid I don't have any more need for all this. What does that mean? Maggie asked. It means I've been simultaneously trying to find the eat, love, pray best version of myself that my parents, long dead though they are, could be proud of me. But also helping you find the best versions of you, because let's face it, you, he pulled a face and wagged a finger at the group, are not the tippy top, best in show, omniversal versions of yourself, are you? You're weak tea, flabby, boring, milquetoast versions of your best self.
We are sitting right here.
Jeff, Aki, looked crestfallen.
Oh, no.
It's like listening to all my ex-boyfriend's criticism all at once. Jim shook with anger. Well, what are you saying, Skullface? That you're going to kill us all? The Technomancer threw back his head and laughed high and shrieking. No! Well, yes, I have a 500 megaton nuclear weapon under Omnicorp that will wipe this whole reality away. But no, dear boy, I'm going to help you live again. But our families, Brad began. The Technomancer rolled his luminous green eyes before pulling a detonator from his cloak and pressing the button. The building shook. But our families! Fuck all that. See you on...
Can you read that again?
But our families! Fuck all that. See you on...
Hilarious.
See you on the other side, fuckers. I'm going to Disneyland.
Dude, Technomancer is back, baby.
As the Technomancer pulled the double horns and let his tendril tongue flick between them, the world turned white. Chudley looked up at the bodies hanging from the rafters of the meeting hall, where thick, life-giving wires were suspending Grissom Graves, Lionel, Blotch, and the others, along with an alligator man, a cyborg, and a robot that looked vaguely like a shitty version of Heath. Stoker was hung up there too, and when he saw Chudley, he gathered the strength to say one word. Run. But Chudley was caught, his fear grounding him. Heath, by all that's holier than the listeners' mothers, what have you... A terrifying sound of tearing, screeching metal echoed through the hall, an ungodly sound that reverberated through the bones of the dwarf. And as Chudley turned, he saw the shell of the robot Heath on the floor. The vessel that had contained his former master split open from inside. The room went icy cold, and before the fingers wrapped around Chudley's throat, he could feel them. Ah, it's so nice to be back again, it whispered. Now, Chudley, it's time to make me a fabulous god again. The end.
Did you
No!
Did you just fucking kill the entire prime cast of your last season?
I don't know. They're life-giving cables. Of the last season. Yeah, they're all fucking dead.
Oh, the one before.
Yeah.
Look, I guess we'll never know.
God.
I hope no one's become too attached to this series' characters, because they are definitely gone.
Oh.
This man is more bloodthirsty than any character I've ever written.
I haven't killed
Dr. Lee Wen? More like Dr. Rich, when are you gonna not kill someone?
I haven't killed really anyone real for a long time now. I've been killing multiversal,
I guess that's true.
versions of them.
Those are people.
When there's an infinite amount of somebody, is it really death?
Look, it makes sense that his name is Lee Wen, because that is the past tense version.
Indeed.
I guess I lost the patent on that joke.
Technomancer's back, and proper back now, and out of his...
Oh,
out of his shell of prison that he's
I
had to
love
sit
how
in.
he's still sassy and cool.
He's
He's still completely out of his fucking mind.
yeah.
I love it. I love him so much.
I'm glad about
That was
that.
great.
Oh, good. I'm good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm
that
glad.
was fucking crazy.
It was gonna be into
the Pleasantville thing.
Yeah.
So cool. I love that.
Were
shit.
they badgers during the entire Pleasant?
no.
Okay.
Because
to die as a badger, right?
when the sky shifted? Did they shift
Yeah.
in the regular? Yeah.
when they left, because they were in the diner with Eleanor,
Right,
and then
right.
she said next Friday, and then the scene cut, and it was like they were in
cuts,
Pleasant
yeah.
Grove or whatever the fuck I called
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
So
Non-patented Pleasantville.
I don't have like even listening comprehension, so I appreciate
No.
you helping me out.
it was quite a long story as well.
Nah,
although
it was good as fuck though.
oh,
How
thanks.
many pages was it?
I don't really want to say. it
No,
was
please
15.
tell us.
It was 16?
15,
God damn it,
15.
Jeff. You
Fucking called it,
You fucking nailed that
It's
shit.
15. It's literally if I double spaced one thing and put the end on a different line, it would have been 16 pages.
16.
So
Don't take this from me, Rich.
all right, it's 16 pages. Wait a minute, I'm just going to double space it now for you. There you go.
Thank you.
16 pages.
This is all I have, okay?
I got no place else to go.
Yeah. There's the mid-season break for you.
Man, what a crazy.
What the fuck's gonna happen when we come back directly and we all get back into our stories instantly?
Without
Yeah.
missing a beat or having to go read your last story or the previous 10.
Or accidentally taking another week off.
Because we don't know what fucking day it is.
I think, like, you know, the putting in the quarterly breaks now really does help me stay refreshed, because I'm on the edge of not being able to write a thing.
Same.
So I think a break and a something, whatever the fuck we're gonna do.
That's my secret, Rich Masters. I'm always edging.
Wow. Oh god, he failed.
I
It
wanna
was when you said, wow.
I wanna suggest it was too Waluigi for you. Wah! I wanna suggest something that we could do next in the season break, but
On the air?
no, I don't. I don't want to do it just in case you guys are like, absolutely fucking not. But we can't take a break. So, yeah, we're just going to have to discuss it after the show. So,
This is how the sausage is made.
This is good radio.
This is who is running this ship.
So let's close the cover on the half of this season. There's no prompt
it
generator.
stinks. It's stinky.
Yeah, it's stinky. There will be no prompt generator this time because I will be submitting a call out for prompts for the third quarter of the season because the prompts are getting a little stale. Big thanks to Vidison for the use of his music, which you will have heard at the beginning, at the end of the show, and in all the breaks. We love you, Greg. You can find out everything about Vidison at vidison.card with 2Rs.co. If you
love
want,
Greg. Fucking love that guy.
he's a good dude and a 2-time guest.
Yeah, he texts me every now and then just to see how I'm doing.
Ah,
Wow, why don't you fucking brag about it some more? This
I
really
already
hot, cool guy
fucking did.
Oh, he texts me. Sometimes he sends me his dick. I don't know.
Sometimes we kiss. How about that?
wow.
All right. I'm getting fired after this.
I have no power to fire you. Don't worry.
Who does?
This is a Rich Masters production. We're just the peons who work underneath.
You
Oh,
have
okay.
no power.
If you want to get in on suggesting prompts for the next show, or have any access to any of the sidecasts we do, because we do an absolute shit ton of them, then you need to head over to patreon.com/storylords, and for as little as $5 you can support us, but there are other tiers that you can do and get access to more content. You can also access any Storylords content on storylords.page or storylords.card.co, and Storylords is on YouTube, although John is a little behind because he's got some stuff going on in his life right now, and I've told him, do not worry about that. Sort out your life before you worry about YouTube.
We love you, John.
Yeah, thanks, John. We appreciate you, man.
We do. Right, and as always, I'm going to say a big thanks to the following patrons: Henry Roslar, King of Patrons, and now dead Technomancer Puppet. Stephen, Concubine of Patrons. They are the two biggest patrons of the show. We love them both dearly. And then
Concubine is still so wild.
I mean,
I don't know how that works, but I don't know.
I mean, we each get him a month.
Whoa!
A month?
Yeah.
You're gonna need to take him to the vet after I'm done with him.
I mean, I'm just gonna.
Pays us money. What are you guys saying?
Yeah. He pays us a lot more than money.
All right.
Why?
Well, it was good to have that money while it lasted. Thanks.
Big thanks to our Masterpieces tier members as well: Anthony Stoker, Chris Balso, Federico Rodriguez, Gordon Ream, who I think Gordon Ream might be a new Masterpieces person. So welcome and thank you. Granola Daniels, Heath Robinson, Jake Anderson, Malonite, Pez King, Rena Kemp, Sean Tabor, Squid Ludwig, and Werewolf Bar Mitzvah _ patron _ only.
Thank you, Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, patron only. Malonite is a new Masterpiece tier as well, because they messaged me because it didn't change their role in the chat for some reason. Thank you, Malonite.
Yeah.
I didn't even check. I was just like, all right, updated the role. I know Malonite's trustworthy.
It's showing up on Patreon. You guys are the biggest supporters of the show, so thank you. But also, you will get access to the quarterly, whatever we decide to do with you guys, and we'll sort that out. We're going to plan something pretty soon and figure out.
I want to do. I'll say it on the fucking show, and you guys can turn me down. That's fine. I want to do Among Us. I've never played it.
Among Us?
Oh my god. You're going to see how fucking terrible I am at that game.
I have a fun strategy, which is I'm just going to tell you every single round that I'm the killer man. And you just
now we know your strategy.
You're going to have to figure out if I'm telling the truth or not every round.
That's the whole game, Jeff.
No, but everyone else pretends to be not the killer man, dum-dum. I'm fucking gaming the system here.
I've got a system.
You have to assume that everyone is... You're already assuming that.
You know what they say about assuming.
I'm going to pretend to be Katy Perry on a space trip. Every round.
Katy Perry!
Oh, space is so cool!
I love Jesus and MAGA.
I once went out with Russell Brand. Uh-oh.
Dated a rapist.
She's going to take away her patron money now, guys. Good job.
She's going to need it when she crashes and burns in her career for being a talentless hack.
I can't believe she's still around, honestly.
It's wild that she's still relevant. Oh, well.
I don't think she is relevant. Yeah. Anyway, do we have any reviews on iTunes? No. Do we know? No. Someone did say that they were going to do a review, but iTunes is so finicky and terrible to leave a review on.
I don't blame him, but it's fine.
No.
iTunes is whack.
Absolutely.
But
stupid.
Leave a review. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Also, we might also do a different game. I'm not saying we're doing Among Us. We'll figure that out before, and we'll tell you on Patreon. That's patreon.com/storylords.
Yeah.
With your fucking strat, we got to do it now. I want to see this play out. This brilliant strategy.
Josh apparently doesn't know how to play Among Us either.
I'm Katy Perry. Right. So that's half the season done. Half of the third season of Storylords. So we've been doing it for 2.5 years at this point. Probably a little bit more because we take breaks and stuff. But anyway, want to say a big thank you to you all for still being listeners. It does feel longer. Writing a story every 2 weeks makes your life going incrementally slow.
Yeah, that's why it feels longer.
Yeah, we're not in a living nightmare.
But a big thank you.
It has nothing to do with having to be around you two or anything. It's just a story.
Can't be. I'm a beacon and well of joy.
True.
Everything
And
about...
I'm here. And Josh is here.
Yep, you are, buddy.
Where are we at in the outro? Sorry.
So we will see you in 2 weeks for our mid-season special, and we will see you in 4 weeks for the next proper episode. So come back for both of those. Consider being a patron, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye.
Enjoy your summer, hags.